will offer support through the Troop and Service Unit Support Specialists, training, and various services offered by our council. With the combined efforts of your Troop Service Unit Support Specialist, Service Unit team members, and the volunteers with whom you work with, you will make Girl Scouting a positive and enriching experience. We look forward to not only supporting you, but building a strong working relationship as well. So here's an outline of what we will be talking about today. Living the Girl Scout Promise and Law, understanding service unit basics, the Girl Scout leadership experience, the service unit manager position description, the service unit president's award, missions connections, upcoming information to look for, and then our closing. We want to make sure that we live by the Girl Scout Promise and Law in everything that we do. We expect it from the girls, and we need to model it as the adults who mentor and guide our girls. Now on to understanding the service unit basics. You don't have to be experts, but you do have to have a basic knowledge, which is what the training was last night, the service unit basics. Ms. Monica went over all of the service unit basics. And as long as you have that general knowledge, we will help train you and guide you along the way to become a successful service unit manager. If you feel you need more guidance at any time, please contact your Troop Service Unit Support Specialist. Now, first things first, you need to attend the service unit roundtables every month. This is something that we will be starting that is brand new for the entire council. It will be the first Monday of most months, with the exceptions due to holidays and events. A schedule of all of these roundtables will be sent out soon, and they will be all online via Zoom for all service unit managers to attend. Something new again this year is that all team positions will now be 3 years. Why is this? This is something that we are calling succession planning. So the idea is to have your first year where you are mentored by your current service unit manager. The second year is doing it on your own. And the third year is mentoring someone else to take your place. We know that this will not always be the case, and we will work with you as needed on this. Now, the Girl Scout Leadership Experience, which is GSLE. This is what girls do. They discover, connect, and take action. And how they do it is by being girl-led, cooperative learning, and learning by doing. The 4 pillars of Girl Scouts. This is something that was introduced last year. It's the important skills in 4 areas that form the program foundation of the Girl Scout Leadership Experience. So we have STEM, life skills, outdoors, and entrepreneurship. Now, if we do this all correctly, these are the outcomes that the girls will achieve by participating in the Girl Scout Leadership Experience. So they will develop a strong sense of self, display positive values, seek challenges and learn from setbacks, form and maintain healthy relationships, and be able to identify and solve problems within their community. Now, what is a service unit manager? So this is a copy of the position description for the service unit manager. Each one of you will receive one of these. You will sign 2 copies, one that I will keep and one that you will be able to keep for your records. And all of this will be sent out after this training. So the summary of what the service unit manager is a service unit manager supports Girl Scouts in a designated community by coordinating and overseeing the work of the service unit team. This is accomplished by appointing team members and developing a plan for the service unit that encompasses recruitment, retention, effective, consistent communication, and provides a welcoming environment. This is for new and existing troop leaders and volunteers. The term of appointment, like I said before, it is now 3 years. So your service unit team manager is appointed for a 3-year term from October 1st through September 30th. This is renewable upon completion of the council volunteer evaluation process, and this position requires an average of 10 hours per week. The service unit team manager is supervised by the GSDSW Troop Service Unit Support Team, which will provide general oversight for all service unit operations. These are some of the responsibilities that a service unit manager has. So you will lead the service unit team to manage and maintain the Girl Scouting in a designated area. So each of the regions or areas, cities, will have a service unit manager. Appoint and manage a service unit team in support of a designated group of troops within a region. Plan, schedule, and conduct service unit team and service unit meetings for volunteers within the service unit. Lead the service unit team in planning, implementing, and reaching service unit recruitment and retention goals. Assist in developing and implementing plans for recruiting volunteers and girls in the service unit area. Ensure all volunteers and leaders within the service unit are processed and trained in a timely manner. Assist with the formation of new troops and placement of girls into existing troops. Create an atmosphere of appreciation within the service unit using both informal and formal recognition methods. You're going to ensure that all required reports are completed and submitted by troop leaders and volunteers. You will assist in managing conflict within the service unit area with the support of GSDSW. You will maintain continuous communication with the Troop Service Unit Support Team at GSDSW. You will attend monthly service unit roundtable meetings led by council, and then you'll recommend and mentor a new service unit manager during your 3rd year in this position. These are some of the qualifications and core competencies that a service unit manager must have. So girl focus, personal integrity, adaptability, oral communication, fostering diversity, computer skills, strong management skills, time management, budgeting skills, conflict management, and then some additional requirements. Like you have to have a Girl Scout membership, have to have a completed and eligible background check, and remain in good standing within the council. Now, how does a service unit manager lead? So if you were on the call last night, we shared this as well. This is our new service unit team flow chart. The manager is at the center of it, and then we have all of the positions that the manager will help oversee and lead. Each of the service unit team positions will have a detailed position description form that you can find online. This is just an example of one of them. So now you have to recruit your team. Your troop service unit support will guide you throughout this recruiting service, throughout recruiting the service unit team members. Your service teams will thrive when there is a committed and diverse pool of adults to be considered for positions. It is important to identify individuals who truly can commit the time to fulfilling the service unit team position requirements. So some find people to help. It can be grandparents, parents, friends, coworkers, people in the community that you know that want to volunteer. It doesn't have to just be the troop leaders, the co-leaders, and the immediate parents that are always helping out. Familiarize yourself with the skills needed for each of these volunteer positions. So as a service unit manager, it would be wise to watch the entire service unit team trainings that are going on this week so that you can know what is required of each position. Observe the skills and abilities of others as they work in the service unit. Consider the skills an individual may have or want to build on that may apply in their career. Make personal requests with a specific job in mind. It's easier for people to say yes if you have something specific to ask them to do instead of being vague and asking if they'll just help in general. This is still some more information on recruiting your team. You would like to consider recruiting former troop leaders, lifetime members, alumni, community members. Remember that team members must have a completed and eligible background check, have a volunteer application on file, and register as a Girl Scout member. And always get back to anyone that is expressing interest in volunteering within 1 week. Don't feel pressured to have each position filled by a different member, as long as the basic functions are still getting done. So some of the basic functions that we need to have are the administration duties, which are the manager, communications, treasurer. Usually in the smaller areas, a service unit manager takes care of a lot of these positions. Membership would be typically the registrar and recruiter. Sorry. Oh no. Volunteer and troop support will be your trainer, consultant, mentor. Program will be your events coordinator. And then community development will be your manager and communications. Now, goal setting for your service unit team. As we mentioned before, there are recruitment numbers, retention numbers, compliance. You want to make sure that you're in compliance with GSDSW, GSUSA, and with the Girl Scout Promise and Law. The service unit planning booklet. So this will be something that our council is working on, and as soon as it's ready, we will be emailing this out to everyone as well. This is a GSUSA resource. Girl Scout presence. So make sure that we have Girl Scouts in our local communities. So at schools, different schools, churches, community events, stuff like that. And then we want to have a welcoming and inclusive culture. Delegating. So as a service unit manager, you can begin supporting your team by delegating. It is important to delegate work to allow team members to become comfortable in their position, build skills, and demonstrate their leadership abilities in the service unit. So some key tips to delegating. Delegation means entrusting someone you have appointed to do a specific job. If you have the right person in place, your role as a volunteer manager will become much easier. Why do we delegate? We delegate because we can't do it alone. You can build a team of experienced volunteers, and you will help to develop the skills of others. This is the I'd rather do it myself problem. A lot of people, instead of delegating, would rather do it themselves because they think I can do it better, I can do it faster, I feel like it's my job, or I don't trust anyone else to do it. And what happens when you do this is you end up overextended. People will stop volunteering to help. There will be resentment and ill feelings that build up, and then no new leadership is developed because you are continuing to do the job. So how do I make delegation work? Maintain regular communication contact. Show your appreciation. Be interested in others' ideas and viewpoints. Let the person do the job, and be sure that the person understands what the job is. Some pitfalls to avoid. Coercing people into jobs that they'd rather not do. Letting someone continue in a job when nothing is getting done. Asking the wrong person to do the job or just choosing somebody to fill the spot. Overloading people. Asking the same people over and over to do this specific job or any job, and trying not to answer every question. Remember, to keep team members engaged, you need to support them by allowing them to answer questions and share their expertise. Communication. How do we communicate with our team? As lives become busier and technology advances, individual volunteers may have different preferred methods of communicating. Therefore, it becomes even more important that the volunteer manager, of the service unit keeps the lines of communication open and utilizes different methods of communication like texting, emailing, Facebook, etc. So, how do we get started? Communication is the key to success of the service unit. While you hold the major accountability of facilitating communication, each service unit team member is also responsible for creating an environment that allows all of the volunteers' voices to be heard. What does good communication look like in a service unit? There should be a forum for open discussion. Volunteers are allowed to share successes and challenges, and then diverse viewpoints are expressed and valued. We need to let volunteers know what to expect from you and the service unit team members. Explain what your role as a volunteer service unit manager is, and then the role of each individual team member. Identify who the volunteer can go to for help if they have any questions. So typically when a volunteer has questions, they should be able to go to the service unit team first. If the service unit team cannot answer the question, they can contact their troop service unit support. And we will do our best to answer the question. And you can also email info@gsdsw.org. Make sure all of the volunteers are appointed to a position and given a job description. Ensure that each team member understands their role and job description. Make sure volunteers are recognized for their commitment to the organization. Discuss frequency, and importance of team and service unit meetings, and then work with team members individually to help them achieve their assignments. Be aware of the needs of volunteers. So we want to recognize what motivates the volunteers. It's not always the same thing. So one person might be wanting to be recognized publicly. Somebody might actually want a gift or a small token of appreciation. So we have to see what motivates people and plan accordingly. New volunteers may feel isolated or overwhelmed, and we want to make sure that we are providing support for them. This is part of our welcoming and inclusive culture. Experienced volunteers may be looking for new opportunities for sharing their leadership skills. So if we have any volunteers that are no longer running troops, these would be ideal for them to be a part of the service unit team. We want to encourage and help them to broaden their interests. And then we want to work with the recognition chair to provide recognition for volunteers on the service unit and council level. Be available when you're needed. So this is part of supporting your team. You want to listen actively, be present with the people you are talking with, offer advice in a supportive manner. And if you don't know the answer, tell the volunteer you will find out and then get back to them ASAP. This is where you can contact your troop service unit support if you don't know the answer, or you can email info@gsdsw.org. We want to confront inappropriate behavior. We want to address conflicts immediately when presented by the troop or among team members. Contact your troop service unit support for guidance and support. And your role as a service unit manager is to be impartial when presented with conflicts and be able to give and handle constructive feedback. Now, on to service unit meetings. So service unit meetings are the key to the success of the service unit. Service unit team meetings should be set a week prior to service unit meetings. This is where the entire service unit team, so the communications, events coordinator, treasurer, manager, registrar, any of the positions that you have filled would meet a week prior to the actual service unit meeting and discuss what your agenda would be, address key points that you want to discuss, and that way everybody's on the same page before the actual service unit meeting with the entire troop leaders, co-leaders, and parents, volunteers. You want to start and end meetings on time and stick to the agenda. And then for service unit unity, your service unit may decide on a logo, color, flag, or etc. This is a service unit planning packet that will be emailed out to all participants on today's webinar. So once this is ready for us to disperse, you will have this information. Included in this packet, there will be a service unit plan for success, mid-year assessment, end-of-year assessment, budget, treasurer's report, stretch challenge award, and then some service unit activities by area. This is a sample service unit meeting agenda. So this will be emailed out as well. And here are some helpful tips for service unit meetings. So you want to set a meeting date. Set definite dates for the entire year. This will help to promote attendance as it gives members a chance to make a date for them to come. So some service units meet the first Monday of every month. Some will meet the second Tuesday of every month. So it's good to set a date and time. That way the volunteers and the troop leaders, co-leaders, everybody will know that it's when the service unit meeting will be. You want to announce the meeting, so you can send out emails, text messages, put it on Facebook of when the meeting will be or the next meeting. You want to plan the agenda, determine the length of the meeting. Usually some meetings most last about an hour. You want to prepare the presentation and then have your sign-in and agenda ready. Conducting the meeting. So we need to make sure that once we're at the actual meeting, you call the meeting to order on time. Make sure that we preserve order throughout the meeting. Allow the service unit team to share and be a part of the meeting as needed. Hold group items under discussion. Provide for ample discussion of important matters. Make sure that all the decisions and recommendations are understood by the group. Record all decisions and conclusions that were made at that meeting, and then end the meeting on time. Here are some helpful hints for a successful service unit meeting. Have refreshments available. Some service units will have a light snack depending on the time of day, something to drink, something to eat on. Have the area ready for you. So set up tables and chairs for everybody. Provide a pre-activity for those that show up early. Have everything set up. You have your agenda ready, your paperwork, an activity, anything like that ready to go. Provide door prizes. Have an opening and closing, and then clean up afterwards. This service unit manager welcome letter will be emailed out to everybody as well. So this is something, this is a resource for the manager once we have new leaders, co-leaders in the service unit area to welcome them to your service unit and let them know about the next service unit meeting time and date. Now, on to conflict management. There will be conflict, but here are some ways that we can manage and diffuse it. We have two resources, GSUSA resources available for you. So we have Volunteer Essentials and the Volunteer Policy Manual. When I email this out to everybody, you will be able to click on these links and they'll take you straight to those resources. So remember that communication is key. First, we need to find out what's really going on. We need to make sure that we carefully listen to both sides of the story. We need to use mediation techniques, and we need to involve the troop service unit support team. That way we can make a note of it, record it, and make sure that there was something done to fix the problem. We need to develop a plan to resolve the issue, and remember to keep all discussions Risk management. So here are some resources for risk management, the safety activity checkpoints, and GSDSW emergency procedures. Just some helpful hints here. Make sure we follow all transportation, state and local transportation laws, your emergency procedures and report form, and then things like troop trip forms and stuff like that. That is how we manage the risk. Welcoming culture. So we want to make sure that Girl Scouts is inclusive. We need to listen. We need to be engaging. A way to do this is maybe have a greeter or a welcome person at each meeting to say hi to everybody. Thank you for coming. Please sign in, have a seat where you would like. Here's an agenda, stuff like that. Make sure that they feel welcomed when they're coming into the service unit meeting. And the service unit manager will set the tone for this. Tools for this are the welcome letter and having a positive attitude, being engaging, stuff like that. GSUSA surveys have found that 50% of new troop leaders leave. So we want to be extra welcoming to minimize this problem. We want to make sure that everyone is welcomed and feels included and that they are a part of the sisterhood. Again, like I said, an idea would be maybe to assign someone to serve as a greeter and especially greet the newcomers. We also want to give recognition to leaders who have maybe taken a training, have an impressive length of service, have an exceptionally good troop program, or did a take action project, stuff like that. So make sure that we are recognizing all the good that we are doing as Girl Scouts. Okay, the Service Unit President's Award. So the President's Award serves as a guide for a well-rounded year of Girl Scouting. So I'm gonna click here. And this is the President's Award application. So it tells you how you complete the award, what you receive. I'm sorry. I guess you weren't able to see this. Hold on. Better? Okay. So this is the President's Award application. It's found on our website. Again, it shows you what you need to do to complete the award, what you receive once you complete this, and some of the criteria. So it has mandatory requirements, and then there's also additional requirements. You must pick 3 of these. It also tells you about the service unit, what it does, who can be in it, the functions, what is a service unit team, a brief description of all the position descriptions, and then the actual application. So you would turn this in to your Troop Service Unit Support Specialist. That way you can be recognized at our council recognition event. Missions Connection. So the Missions Connections is a webinar series provided by GSUSA. And this is for volunteers who support other volunteers. And they have the goal to connect the lead volunteers across the Girl Scout movement to enhance our ability to deliver the best female leadership development program in the world. So there's different recordings available. This is found on our GSDSW volunteer training page, which sorry guys, I don't know what happened. I'm trying to share this. Wasn't taking me to it, but anyway, this is this is found on our website. Click volunteers and then volunteer training. And then under service unit trainings, you will see missions connections. Let's see if this one works. Nope, it's taking me back. But anyway, when you click on it, once I send this to you, you'll be able to click directly. It'll take you straight to the page. Now, service unit evaluations. The council will help with planning throughout the year, and the service unit will be evaluated at the end of each year, sometime between July and August. Tips for effectively leading your team. Make sure that we prepare our members. We want to check in with people regularly. We want to be available. Know where to get the answers that you don't have. So again, you can contact your troop service unit support team or email info@gsdsw.org. We want to make sure that we are encouraging and always that we're positive. Now, here is some upcoming information to look forward to. So coming soon to a training near you, we have Looker. And Looker is an online tool that will provide current, within one business day, membership information for Girl Scout employees and volunteers to leverage in providing the best possible service and support to our members worldwide. The people that will have access to this are our service unit managers and the registrar person. So you'll be able to use this to see who is a part of your service unit, how many troops you have, who's a part of the troop, stuff like that. And there will be a training specifically for this resource. Looker will give you access to service unit rosters and membership analysis. It's new in the last 2 weeks, and then it'll also give you troop details. Like I said before, service unit manager and registrar training will be, is to be determined, but as soon as we have that set up, we will let you know, and a notice will go out to all the managers and registrars to let you know when this training will be. Now, we want to thank you for taking on this leadership position, and thank you for helping to grow our GIRLs. Could not do this without you. Thank you for attending this training and all of your support and for your time and dedication to Girl Scouts. If you have any questions, you can enter them into the chat box, or you can ask to be unmuted so that you can ask a question. And again, thank you for your time and attending this training. Have a great evening.
Does anybody have any questions? We can unmute you if you'd like to share your question, or if you'll please put them into the chat box below. Also, as a reminder, please type your first and last name into the chat box so that we know that you attended this training. The chat box can be found at the very bottom of the screen. If you hover over, it should pop up and it'll say chat. Ann Rose Howard asked if we can receive our service unit membership goals. Those we will be discussing soon and setting them together soon. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Ann Rose, for the question. Absolutely. Jeanette would like to be unmuted. You'll have to do that.
Hi, everybody. I have a quick question just to clarify on the service unit team. I noticed you had a list up there that had the different functions like administration, membership, support, program, communications. I want to make sure I understand that you're saying that we don't necessarily need to have a different person for each of those positions. We could sort of double dip because we've got a problem where we don't have a lot of volunteers. And so is that okay?
Do you want to take it, Rita?
Yes, absolutely. So especially for smaller areas, excuse me, like I said before, the service unit manager might be the communications and the events person. So yes, it's absolutely okay. We just want to make sure that we're not overextending people. But if they're okay with taking on those extra responsibilities, then that's fine.
Does anyone else have any questions or would like to be unmuted? Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions. We will have our service unit event coordinator meeting here at 7 o'clock. Is that right? 7 o'clock. So for now, I think we'll just sign off. You're welcome to stay on. Is it the same link, do you know? Ah, so you'll need to click on the new link for the service unit event coordinator Zoom meeting at 7 p.m. So we will see you. Oh, Kay has a question? Oh, I don't see it.
She sent it to you.
Yeah, it's coming to me.
Okay. Do you want to unmute yourself and read the question? We have one question coming in.
Okay, this question's from Miss Kay. She asked, when we set our meeting dates, do we send directly to council or just to our service unit members?
If they could please send it to council as well so that we can have a record of when their service unit meeting times and dates are. And that way we would be better able to support them.
If anyone is asking questions, if you'll make sure that the questions are going to everyone. There's a lot of people on. Oh, okay, thank you. If you'll make sure your question is going to everyone and not to a specific person, because that person may not be reading it out loud. So if you have a question, I have a question coming in from, oh, you're welcome, Tracy. Tracy says, thanks for the information. Tammy says, will council reps be at our service unit meetings? Rita?
So this is, I guess, based on availability. We are very short-staffed, but if there is someone that can attend your meetings for support, then definitely. That's why we would like to know when each service unit has their meeting time and date. And then if you need support for a specific event or question or problem, then we can definitely be there.
All right, any other questions? Follow-up questions? Stephanie asks, if a training is missed, how soon will it be available? Do you mean the service unit summit training, Stephanie? Like the recordings? Okay, so she means these recordings of the meetings. I am not sure. Oh, next day is what Miss Monica Hasso was saying. So these have to be uploaded onto the cloud, and then we can send out the link to the recordings. So give us about 24 hours, please. And then Ann Rose asks if the service unit packet is going to be available on the council website as well. The service unit packet, oh, do you want to take that, Rita?
So I believe Monica said that we were still working on that and editing it. So as soon as it is available, it will be emailed out and it will be available on the website.
Cool. Tammy says she tried to get to the meeting yesterday because we had our service unit meeting last night and was not able to get to it. So Tammy, we are going to send out the recording to all service unit managers. Don't worry. Any other questions? This is definitely the time for you to ask them. Of course, later on, if you think of something, you can always email info@gsdsw.org to ask your questions, but this is your training. We want to make sure that you ask the questions that you have. Okay. If we don't have any other questions, we'll go ahead and sign off. We'll see you all in about, anyone who may be interested in coming to the events coordinator webinar meeting. We'll see you at 7. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Rita. You did great.
Thank you.